set for private.
Now it's public already.
Okay.
You can talk with students.
Okay. I will wait for them. Nobody come yet.
Have one.
พอดีว่ามีใครเป็น
Now you can see it.
But it doesn't show them.
Because they need to type for show here. But if have student view
Two
your live.
already. Okay.
Yes.
Normally, what is the total number of attendance per class?
Per class, no.
Normal. How many should come for M4?
For all of
Yeah.
for the live
Yeah, for the
Online,
live. Yeah, yeah.
normally around 100.
100 only.
100 and
It's very little.
that have students.
Okay, I can see them already. Hello, Tasapol. I can see you. Room 5, number 8. Wirada, room 6, number 12. Juliet, room 3, number 54.
2 ชั่วโมงติดเลยอะ
Pond number 7, room 713.
2 ทุ่มหมดเลย
Official, hello. Natas, room 4, number 8. Ryan, room 6, number 13. Pemika, room 1, number 29. Bonjour. And then Ratchapol, room 5, number 30. Pond, lower 200. Common 1 and 3, number 44. Room 3,
เลยแล้วทั้งวัน
Yapat, room 6, number 4. Okay, students, I'm down here so you cannot see me now. You can see me. Welcome to the online class in science. And I would like to do a shout out of students who are already here. Before I begin the lesson, I would like to tell you that once this lesson is done, I'm going to watch it again and then record the attendance of the students who came to watch and attend my class, number 1. And then number 2, I'm going to give points to the students who participated in this lesson. Now, after certain sections of this lesson, like for example, after the YouTube video, I will be asking questions. I have got questions here on PowerPoint. And also, we will be asked to construct some sentences later on before the lesson ends. So, whoever can answer these questions will be given points. That is for your listening test. So, when you participate in the lesson today, you are excused from doing the listening test when you come back to school. Okay? Okay, let me start now. Hello everyone. Pantat Pimpakat Charipon Kusalin Nachanon Pirada Nacha Natatai Korakot what is Narongsak Kachamong Tiramate, hello. Arisara, hello. Tamongkol, hello. Danudo. Room 6, number 36, hello. Tamanon. Room 7, number 6, hello. Right. Now, last week, I was not able to interact with you because the chat was not open. So, I just went on teaching about the parts of the DNA molecule. Now, for today, I'm going to teach you about the comparison of RNA and DNA. Now, before I go to that, I'm going to give you a brief review about the lesson last week, okay? So you pay attention, you participate, and I will give the points, okay? As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to open this video once it is done, and then I'm going to check the attendance and record the points of those students who participate in the class discussion. Right, let us review the concept last week. So we have here the oxyribonucleic acid, and we said last time that this one, the main function of this one is to store genetic information that is passed on from the parent to the offspring. Before the school closed, I gave you the definition of the term offspring. Offspring simply means the children, okay? And then the ribonucleic acid. RNA. Now, these two are very important macromolecules and biopolymers in terms of sustaining life on Earth. Okay, let us review the lesson last week. For those of you who were not here last week, this one will give you some information of the topic that I taught. Okay, just do not pay attention that you can see my head only because it's convenient for me to move from the computer down here to the board. Okay, don't pay attention, just listen to what I'm talking about. Okay, now this one here, we said last time that there are two types of macromolecules. The first one is DNA, and the second one is RNA. Now, this one here is the structure of the DNA molecule. So you will see up there, okay, this part here, this one, you have the base, okay, base, you have the sugar, and then the phosphate molecule, okay? So let me see. I will try to. Okay. So students, this one here is your base. Okay, that's right. Oh my God. Okay, sorry about that. Do you have the pen? Okay, and then color. Okay. So this one here, students, is your base. Okay, that is your base. And then, okay, let me see. This one is your sugar. And this one is your phosphate. Now, if you took the book with you from last week, you are able to follow this lesson. It's on the part of DNA, okay? There's a unit there on DNA. So we said that if we have the base, sugar, and phosphate, these are what we call the components of your nucleotide up there. You can see the one in the circle. That is your nucleotide, all right? Now, the nucleotide is the basic unit of the DNA. It is the smallest unit of your DNA, all right? Now, the sugar of DNA is what we call the oxyribose. So we call this one the oxyribose. Okay? This is your sugar. We call this one the oxyribose. So if you have the base, sugar, and phosphate, you call that a nucleotide. All right? Now, what are the bases? You will see there in the key that we have 4 bases. We have adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. Okay? Now, when we draw the structure of the DNA molecule, we do not write the whole word like adenine, thymine. No, we use the symbol A for adenine, T for thymine, okay, G for guanine, and C for cytosine. Now, what holds these bases together? These bases are held together by what we call hydrogen bonds, okay? Now, you will notice that for thymine and adenine, there are 2 hydrogen bonds. So we call this one double bonds, okay? These are double bonds. And then for guanine and cytosine, we have what we call triple bonds, okay? Now, you might ask, why is it has to be hydrogen bond? It has to be hydrogen bond because hydrogen bond is weak, okay? It is a weak type of bond. Now, during cell division, this DNA molecule need to split into 2 strands. So you might ask me, what is a strand? If you remember the vocabulary last week, I showed you an example of the strand. It looks like a spaghetti, So that is one strand. So when this one breaks, okay, so when this one breaks, like this one, so this side here is one strand, okay, and this side here is your second strand, okay, so it splits into two. That is what happens during cell division. Now, we have another type of structure of the DNA molecule. We call it the ladder model, like this one. We call this one a ladder model. Now, this side here that contains the sugar and the phosphate is what we call a backbone, okay? That is a backbone. And another thing that you should remember is the shape of the DNA molecule is a double helix structure. This one. Okay. Okay, review number 2. This is the vocabulary also from last week. We have the term purines and pyrimidines. Now, the bases, adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, are categorized into 2. Those with 2, all right? Those with 2 rings is what we call purines, and the one with a single ring is what we call pyrimidines. Okay, right? Remember that one. Purines, 2 rings, pyrimidines, single ring. Okay, so what are the bases with 2 rings or double ring? We have adenine and guanine. Okay. These purines are present in both DNA and RNA and pyrimidines. All right? So the pyrimidines have only single ring. Now, what are the examples? Single ring pyrimidines are thymine, cytosine, and uracil. Students, uracil is a base that is found only in RNA. In DNA, uracil is not found. We have the base thymine. Okay, so we have the base thymine for DNA, and for RNA, we have uracil. Okay, I summarized everything here now. I'm going to check if anybody's asking questions. Okay, there are now 51 students. Now, if you feel like asking questions, okay, you can do so because I'm checking the chats every now and then. Right, let's look at number 1. This is just a summary of the lesson last week. So, nucleic acids are biopolymers. Polymers are very long molecules or biomolecules, and it is important in sustaining life on Earth. Now, there are 2 types of nucleic acids. The first one is called DNA, and the second one is RNA. Number 3, the structure of the DNA is a double helix. Number 4, the basic structure or unit of the DNA molecule is called a nucleotide. So when you're talking about DNA, the smallest unit is nucleotide. And what is a nucleotide made of? It is made up of phosphate group, sugar group, and nitrogen base. A, T, G, C. Okay, so these are the bases. A, T, G, and C. And then number 6, purines. Okay, this one I showed you the structure earlier. Purines are compounds with double carbon ring. So it is made up of 2 rings. And the bases here includes adenine and guanine. Okay. Number 7, pyrimidines are bases that is made up of 1 nitrogen ring. Next one. Before the school closed, not before the school closed, in semester 1, I taught you that the DNA molecule is a macromolecule, meaning it's so big. that it will not fit in the nucleus of the cell. So for it to be able to fit in the nucleus of the cell, it has to be in compact form. And what is the compact form of the DNA? It is what we call the chromosomes. Okay? So chromosomes are the compact form of DNA. Next one. DNA-based pairings occur as follows. Adenine always pairs with thymine, and cytosine always pairs with guanine. Okay? A, T, and C, G. Next, number 10. The DNA molecule has two strands. And these strands are connected to one another by what we call weak hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bonds can be double or triple depending on the type of base it is attached with. And then number 11, okay, this is the one. What bases have double hydrogen bonds? We have adenine, thymine, and then cytosine and guanine have triple hydrogen bonds. Students, you pay attention because after 2 more sessions, you're going to do a test on Google Form. Okay? So I will teach you 2 more times after this week, and there will be a test on listening, reading, and writing using the Google Form. Right. Let's go now to vocabulary. This vocabulary is very important in understanding the lesson today on comparing the DNA and RNA molecules. Okay, let's look at the first one. The first vocabulary is DNA replication. Again, students, if you have the science book with you, you can open it on the chapter on DNA. It's there. So you can follow the lesson easily. Right. So when we're talking about DNA replication, it simply means the DNA makes a copy of itself. Okay? Just like what is shown here in this diagram. Okay? So you will see the DNA molecule is splitting, and then it forms another DNA molecule because the RNA, it binds itself to that part that is already separated. You have there the single strand. Okay, single strand DNA, chromosome comes and binds, so you form another DNA molecule. So the key word here, DNA replication, simply means the DNA molecule makes a copy of itself during cell division. Now you might ask, where does the replication takes place? Now, if you have a prokaryote are what? They are organisms with no nucleus. It takes place in the cytoplasm of the cell. Whereas in eukaryotes, replication takes place in the nucleus of the cell. Okay, let's move on to vocabulary number 2. We have translation. In translation, this is the process wherein protein is synthesized or made by the ribosome in the cytoplasm or the endoplasmic reticulum. I think you are already familiar with the cytoplasm and endoplasmic reticulum because we used to study these parts of the cell in semester 1. So the key word here to be able to remember is translation. It is the synthesizing or making of proteins. Okay, in the ribosome or cytoplasm. Let's move on to the next one. What is a genetic material? Genetic material is found in plants, animals, unicellular organisms, viruses, bacteria, and so on. So the genetic material simply means the genetic information that is transmitted from the parent to the offspring through what? We have the DNA and RNA. These are the genetic materials. Okay. These are the vocabularies. Again, if you have questions, you can send your questions to me by chat. Okay? Right. Let's move on now to the next slide. This is the main lesson today. We have the RNA. I will introduce to you first RNA, and then later on we're going to compare DNA and RNA. How are they different? So if you look at the first box, RNA is the main genetic material in any viruses. So if you're talking about coronavirus, the genetic material of the coronavirus is RNA. All right? Next one. It plays an important role in making proteins and in DNA replication. So that is the role of the RNA to make proteins. Number 3, each sugar is called ribose. Okay, I'm going to give 2 points now. I mentioned this earlier. What is the name of the sugar in DNA? Okay, I will wait for your answers in the chat. 2 points. What is the name of sugar in DNA? RNA, it is ribose. What about DNA? Anybody? Tanakrit? Or you cannot remember. What is the name of sugar in DNA? No. Who is number 46? No, it's not pentose. Students, the sugar in DNA begins with the letter D. Okay? New RNA sugar is ribose. Okay? For DNA, the beginning of the letter is D, and there are 2 syllables ahead of ribose. Anyone? Okay, I got the correct answer already. Very good. Najun, room 3, number 55, correct. You earn 2 points. Wichacon, room 2, number 52, very good, correct. Deoxyribose. TT, I don't know what is your full name. Room 3, number 6, correct. Deoxyribose. On room 7, number 13, deoxyribose. Trong, room 3, number 10, deoxyribose. Who is this one? Students, please give me your name in English. I cannot read Thai. Okay, there is somebody here in group name in Thai. Deoxyribose is correct. Another one, room 1, number 11, correct. Deoxyribose. Flash Neo, room 4, number 18, correct. Deoxyribose. Tanachik, correct. Room 2, number 42, correct. Nichata, correct. Salintip, correct. Rachapro, no answer. This one is quite difficult to read. Room 3, number 14, correct. Room 7, number 38, correct. Room 1, number 22, correct. Wasarat, room 3, number 27, correct. Pong Dawit, room 4, number 7, correct. Sirapat, room 6, number 14, correct. Curse, room 3, number 37, correct. So all these students earned 2 points today. Okay, now if you answer some more later on as the lesson goes along, you will earn more points. Okay, let's move on. Where are we now? Okay, RNA has 1 strand. It has 1 strand. My question is, why does it have 1 strand? DNA has 2 strands, right? 2. Why is it RNA molecule has 1 strand? Anybody? I'm going to give 4 points to this question. Why is it RNA has 1 strand? Anybody? What happens during cell division? What happens to the DNA molecule during cell division? Take note, in cell division, the DNA is still there in the nucleus or the cytoplasm, right? If you're talking about prokaryotes, if you're talking about eukaryotes, it's there in the nucleus. What happens to the DNA molecule during cell division that you are able to produce RNA? Anybody? Butter, I don't understand. What did you write here? Transfixion? There's no word like that. Winnish corn, in order to be unstable enough to bond with other molecules? No. Okay, I will give you a hint again. During cell division, what happens to the DNA molecule? what happens to the hydrogen bond during cell division? Okay, over. He said here, because it needs to bond with amino acids and give genetic messages, it has to have one strand in order to be unstable enough to bond with other molecules. Over. You get only half point. You get only 2 points because your answer is half correct. It says here, to have one strand in order to be unstable enough to bond with other molecules. That is correct. But the question is, what happens to the hydrogen bond during cell division? Anyone? Salintip? No. Students, why you cannot answer? Again, look, DNA, 2 strands. Cell division, RNA, RNA. 1 strand RNA. What happens to the hydrogen bond that links the 2 strands of the DNA molecule? What happens to the hydrogen bond? Okay, Butter, you got it correct. Tear up. Okay, I accept that answer. Tear up. Okay, who can give me a synonym for tear up? Butter, you get 4 points for this one. And then over, you get 2 points. Who can give me another synonym for tear up? His answer is correct. Okay, the synonym begins with the letter B. Okay, Winish Khan, room 2, number 52. Very good. Hydrogen bonds must be broken to allow the DNA strands to separate. Very good. 4 points. Wrong, not demolish. It's not correct. Wrong. When you say demolish, you have to destroy the whole thing. We do not destroy the DNA molecule. It just split into 2 strands. Okay? Very good to the students who got the correct answer. Okay, let's go now to the next one. In RNA, the base is thymine replaced by uracil. Sorry about this one. This one is supposed to be DNA, not RNA. So in DNA, the base is thymine, but when you have the RNA, it is replaced by uracil. Okay, let's move on. Again, I repeat, if you have questions, you can send me a chat. Right. Now, we have 3 types of RNA molecules, right? So we have mRNA, rRNA, tRNA. mRNA means messenger RNA, okay? Messenger RNA, the function of this is for protein synthesis, for making proteins, okay? mRNA. Now, if you're talking about rRNA, this is a type of RNA found in ribosomes. Now, if you remember the lesson in semester 1, we said that ribosomes are organelles that synthesizes proteins. So, to be able to synthesize proteins, there has to be an RNA, and that RNA is rRNA, or we call it ribosomal RNA. Right. Let's move on to tRNA. What is the role of tRNA? The role of this one is to produce or to carry amino acids. Take note that no protein will be formed if there is no amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. But we are not going to discuss that in this class because that one will go to the topic in your biology. So if I say amino acids, AA, this one is, so this one is amino acids, AA, okay? If nucleotide is the basic component of your DNA molecule, the basic unit of protein is called amino acids. So the tRNA is very important in protein synthesis because no protein will be formed without the basic unit, which is amino acids. Okay, I will check again the chats. Okay, there's some comments here. From Cub, what is your room number? Okay, from Cub, he's the one who said demolish the DNA. Okay, what do you mean by that? You mean hydrogen bound. Okay, correct, from Cub. I will give you the credit for that, but you have, okay, from Cub, you belong to room 3, number 10. Thank you very much. Okay, let us move on. So, if I ask the question this time, what is the basic unit of the DNA molecule? 2 points. Okay, I will wait for your answer. What is the basic unit of the DNA molecule? Anyone? Wait for your answer. The basic unit of the DNA molecule is... Notas, no. Flash, no, it's not nuclear. The smallest unit, okay, I will give you a hint. It is made up of base, sugar, and phosphate molecule. Period. Very good. 2 points. Room 4, number 51. Very good. Period. Okay. Ton, room 7, number 13. Very good. Nucleotide. Tocrab, no. Amino acid is the basic unit of protein. It is not the basic unit of the DNA molecule. Let me see. Students, may I request you to please write your name in English? I cannot read Thai. Room number 4. Number 44, correct? Nucleotide. Okay, room 2, number 19, nucleotide, correct? Finish corn, correct? Nichata, correct? Pongdawit, correct? Cream sweet, correct? Nucleotide. April, correct? Felix, is this Felix? No, not Felix. Room 7, number 33, correct? Salintip, correct? Room 1, number 29, correct? Tidapon, correct? Flux, no answer. Tidapon, correct? It is nucleotide. Okay. So, you now know the 3 types of RNA. I summarize. mRNA makes protein. rRNA is found in the ribosome of the cell. And tRNA contains the amino acid necessary to build up protein. The 3. Okay? Remember that. Right. Okay, can you see this one? On the left side, I have DNA. On the right side, I have RNA. Okay, students, 3 points. Can you give me one difference between DNA and RNA? I will wait for your answer. Okay, look at the picture on my PowerPoint. What is, you can give me, there is more than one differences. There could be around 4 or 5. I would like you to tell me what are the differences. There will be 4 to 5 answers here. What are the differences between DNA and RNA? Anyone? Okay, let me check the chat. Okay, let me see. This is 3 points for your answer. Okay, I cannot read the name again. It's in Thai. This is room 4, number 44. DNA have thymine, but RNA have uracil. Very good. 3 points. Trongkab, room 3, number 10. DNA is double strand, but RNA is 1. Very good. Trongkab. Next one, Winish corn, room 2, number 52. RNA contains the sugar ribose, while DNA contains the slightly different sugar deoxyribose. Very good. I'm getting very good answers here. Over. DNA okay, I'm reading your answers. DNA and RNA are different from their structure, functions, and stabilities. DNA has 4 nitrogen bases, adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, but for RNA, instead of thymine, it has uracil. Very good. Room 7, number 46. I think room 7 is doing a good job. Okay. Felix, is that your homeroom?
Yes.
Okay, that was Miss Hanan. Okay. Okay, let's move on. DNA. DNA is original and RNA is a copy. Okay, so RNA is a copy. Okay, let me see the word copy. Copy. Is that a copy? Yes, okay, correct. Who is this one? Room 3, number 6. Curse. Thymine on DNA, but uracil on RNA. Very good. Room 3, number 37. Again, another student wrote in Thai. Room 1, number 29. Students, this is an English class in science. Please write your name in English. I cannot read it. RNA is the main genetic material in many types of viruses, but DNA can find in other. Very good. Room 1, number 29. Can you type your name, please, in English? Room 1, number 29. What is your name? Huh? Penika?
Yes.
Okay, I got your name already. Miss Hanan gave it to me. Okay, another student who wrote in Thai. Students have mercy on me. I cannot read Thai. Okay, room number 2, number 19.
Then the user, teacher,
Huh?
they said the user
In
is
Thai? That's why. Okay, I will just read the room. Room number 2, number 19. RNA has nucleobase and DNA does contain thymine. Okay, I consider that answer correct. Over, DNA contains sugar deoxyribose, while RNA contains the sugar ribose. Very good. Room 7 again, number 46. Trongkab. Room 3, number 10. DNA is much longer than RNA. Correct. Very good, students. For those who participated today, you get lots of points. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to let you watch a YouTube video on RNA. I have a disclaimer here. A part and whole of this video is not owned by me or Assumption College Stonebury and is used only for educational purposes. Miss Tuck, I need the video. Okay, let us wait for the video. Video, please. Okay, please wait for the video. Try to get as much information as you can, and then there will be questions again. Oh, no internet? There's no internet? I don't know. Okay, students, please bear with us. We're having a bit of a technical problem here. Sorry about this one. Okay, let me check the chat again. Trongkab again. Okay, Trongkab. No DNA can be destroyed by UV. What about RNA? Can it also be destroyed by UV? Okay, Flash. RNA is a single twist. Okay, correct. Okay, you get another point for your answer. Okay, please be patient. And okay, the video is here. Pay attention and try to get as much information as you can. For the questions, guide questions after watching the video, I will give 3 points. Okay, 3 points per question.
Nucleic acids are the building blocks of life. Wait, but isn't DNA the building blocks of life? Yes, both are correct. DNA is a type of nucleic acid, and in this video, we're going to have a quick look at another type, RNA. We have both DNA and RNA in our bodies. We need them both. DNA is the blueprint. instructions for the cell to grow, function, and replicate. The RNA carries out these instructions. It copies and transfers the genetic code from the DNA to ensure the relevant proteins are made. So just think of it as DNA makes RNA makes proteins. So let's look at how they differ. Whereas DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. Whilst DNA is double-stranded, RNA is single-stranded. Like DNA, RNA is made up of a long chain of nucleotides. Each nucleotide consists of a ribose sugar, phosphate group, and nucleotide base. RNA has a sugar called ribose, whereas DNA has a sugar called deoxyribose. Look here, RNA has a base, uracil, or U, whereas DNA has the base thymine, or T. So in RNA, C and G still pair, but now A and U pair. We need to know about RNA because we will see it when learning about protein synthesis. We will see these two special types of RNA, messenger RNA, which is known as mRNA, and transfer RNA, which is known as tRNA. We will see the mRNA being synthesized inside the nucleus, copied from the DNA code. The tRNA is found in the cytoplasm. For many years, we just thought RNA was a DNA photocopy, as mRNA, protein form, as tRNA, and found in ribosomes as rRNA. However, RNA can also act as enzymes to speed up chemical reactions, and in many viruses, they have RNA instead of DNA. The RNA carries the genetic codes in those viruses. So there we have RNA. From this video, we should now know about the existence of RNA. It is a single-stranded nucleic acid that has a base U instead of base T.
Okay, let's look now at the guide questions. Okay, you will get 3 points for every correct answer. Okay, let me see. For question number 1, again, for the students who can give me the correct answer, this will be good for you because when you come back to school, you won't be doing the listening test anymore. This one will go to your listening test. Okay, question number 1. What does RNA means? Anybody? Okay, I will wait for your answer. What does RNA means? Okay, I got the answer now. Truncab, correct. Hey, truncab, no, it is not ribose nucleic acid. No, not ribose. No. Okay, room for number 44, correct. Ribonucleic acid. Greenish corn, correct. Ribonucleic acid. Over, correct. Skinny, correct. Who is this one? Room 2, number 38, ribonucleic. Truncab, correct. Salintive, correct. TT, correct. Natas, correct. April, correct. Penix, correct. Room 1, number 11, correct. Curse, number 3. Room 3, number 37, correct. Ribonucleic acid, room 3, number 14. Cream sweet, correct. Nichata, correct. Najun, correct. Tanyarat, correct. Winishko, no. Tongkab, no. Room 2, number 19, ribonucleic acid, correct. Piachut, correct. Cardau, correct. Room 1, number 29, ribonucleic acid, correct. Okay, congratulations, students. Your cup, room 1, number 8, correct. It is ribonucleic acids, okay? Let's move on to number 2. DNA has blank strands. You can see I put strand /S, meaning it can be one or more than one. So if you write the answer, for example, DNA has, for example, you can write like this. What happened? Okay, let me see. DNA, for example, has 4. Okay, you can write on the chat like this, 4, 3. For example, DNA has 4 strands and RNA has 3. Okay, so can you give me the correct answer now? DNA has blank strands and RNA has blank strands. Okay, I will wait for your answer. Let me see. Room 1, number 11, correct? Chongkab, correct? Room 1, number 29, correct? You just type the number. Do not write the word because it takes time. Phoenix, correct. TT, correct. Tanyarat, correct. Salintip, correct. Curse, correct. Room 4, number 44, correct. Over, correct. Room 1, number 1, correct. April, correct. Najun, 2, 1, correct. Nichata, 2, 2. Oh, what is this? 2 strands. Nichata, I don't understand your answer. Can you type it again, please, by number? Cream Sweet, correct. Pichayut, correct. Vinish Pond, correct. Room 2, number 9, correct. Room 1, number 6, correct. Kadao, correct. And room 5, number 39, correct. Natapin. Natapin. Okay, correct. Natapin. Very good. Room 3, number 28. So it's 2 and 1. All right? What about number 3? 3 points. There are 3 answers here. A nucleotide is made of blank, blank, and blank. Okay, can you give me the answer now on the chat? I have 4 minutes left, students. If we cannot finish the guide questions, I will continue next week. Okay, next week, no test yet from Google Form. Right? Who can give me the answer? A nucleotide is made of blank, blank, and blank. Let me see. Just away. Your name is so sweet. Sugar, phosphate, and nitrogenous, correct? Room 4, number 1, correct. Salintip, correct. Flash. No. What is this one? Room 4, number 44, correct. Natawat, no answer. Pichayut, correct. Over. Correct. Vinish Con. Correct. Kamonchanok. Sugar. Kamonchanok, you get only 2 points because your answer is only sugar and nitrogen. 1 is missing. Students, I will check again your chat and give the point, okay? I will know who gave me 1 or 2 answers only. TT. Correct. Najun. Correct. April, correct. TT, correct. Tongkab, correct. If you give me 1 or 2 answers only, you get 1 or 2 points, okay? So, room 1, number 29, correct. Natapin, correct. Natos, correct. Room 3, number 14, correct. Pongtawit, correct. Nichata, correct. Phoenix, correct. Tanyarat, correct. Curse, correct. Room 1, number 10, correct. Okay, very good. For the students who got it all correct, you get 3 points. And for the other one who got only 2 correct answers, you get 2 points. Curse, correct. Room 1, number 10, correct. Room 5, number 39. Room 5, number 39, you miss 1 answer. Okay, 2 points. Room 2, number 19, correct? 3 points. Mr. Butter, room 2, number 40. Okay, we have 3 points for Mr. Butter. Okay, students, my time is up. I will continue the guide questions next week. You won't be doing the Google form test yet. And after next week, you will have your test on listening, reading, and writing. Thank you very much for joining this online class, and bye. See you next time. Okay, Miss. I continue next week.